Epictetus once warned us, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." In today's digital world, pornography has become one of the silent battles many face, not just against a habit, but against the weakening of the mind and spirit. It's a battle we rarely discuss, but one thing is certain: if you don't control your desires will control you. Number 1. The neurochemical hijack: how porn reshapes the brain. The human brain is wired to reward survival behaviors, eating, social bonding, and reproduction, with a release of dopamine. However, pornography hacks this system, creating an endless loop of artificial reward. It offers dopamine surges far beyond what the brain evolved to handle. Over time, the brain adapts by becoming less sensitive to pleasure. This is known as dopamine downregulation. As a result, regular activities that once brought joy, like reading, hobbies, or friendships, become dull and unsatisfying. The Stoic concept of moderation, sophrosyne, teaches us to pursue balance in all areas of life. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If we repeatedly expose the mind to overstimulation, we rewire it to crave intensity at the expense of depth. This leaves us with a fragmented sense of self, caught between fleeting highs and lingering dissatisfaction. To combat this neurochemical hijack, begin practicing what Stoics call negative visualization. Imagine a life without your most stimulating habits. What would you do with that free time? Who would you become? Visualizing the absence of harmful behaviors brings clarity to what truly matters. Slowly, the brain starts to recalibrate. It learns to find pleasure in everyday moments, like the smell of rain, the joy of movement, or the company of others. Number 2. Erosion of self-control: the gradual loss of willpower. Every act of indulgence weakens our ability to resist temptation. Epictetus wrote, "If you do not wish to be prone to anger, do not feed the habit." The same logic applies to pornography. The more you indulge, the harder it becomes to resist, creating a cycle of dependency. You start with a casual watch, but over time, cravings grow, and soon, it takes conscious effort not to engage in the behavior. Willpower, like a muscle, can grow stronger through training. Begin with small acts of self-denial. Choose water over soda, take the stairs instead of the elevator, or go to bed without scrolling through your phone. These minor challenges build the foundation for larger victories. Stoicism encourages what is known as voluntary discomfort. The practice is simple but profound. Intentionally seek out small discomforts to develop resilience. Taking cold showers, fasting, or exercising without music are practical ways to cultivate mental toughness. By practicing self-restraint in areas of your life that seem insignificant, you'll gradually restore your willpower. Every time you resist the urge to indulge in pornography, you strengthen your ability to act according to your values, even in the face of temptation. Mastery over desire brings genuine freedom, a state where your decisions are no longer controlled by impulses. Number 3. Fantasy versus reality: how porn distorts expectations. The Stoics believe that many of our struggles stem not from events themselves but from our judgments about them. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you but your judgment about them." Pornography is a prime example of how faulty judgments distort reality. It promotes a fantasy world where physical perfection, instant gratification, and limitless pleasure are the norms. In real life, relationships are messy, complex, and imperfect. Partners have emotions, insecurities, and needs. When you compare real experiences to fantasies, dissatisfaction grows. You might find yourself annoyed when intimacy doesn't flow effortlessly, or frustrated when your partner isn't attuned to your every desire. This creates friction in relationships, as no real person can compete with the carefully curated illusions of pornography. Instead of chasing perfection, Stoicism invites us to accept life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Practice gratitude by focusing on the good qualities of your relationships. Reflect on this. How would your life change if you focused less on what's missing and more on what's present? Acceptance doesn't mean settling. It means recognizing that joy lies in appreciating the moment rather than longing for an ideal that doesn't exist. Number 4. Emotional numbing. How porn sabotages mental health. Repeated consumption of pornography numbs the mind to real emotions. Dopamine highs are often followed by emotional crashes, leading to a sense of emptiness and disconnection. This emotional withdrawal isn't limited to moments after indulgence. It extends into daily life. Over time, you may find it harder to experience joy or connect deeply with others. Emotional numbness becomes a shield, protecting you from discomfort but also blocking you from authentic experiences. Seneca observed, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Much of the emotional suffering tied to pornography arises from avoidance. When we seek quick escapes from boredom, sadness, or stress, we fail to confront these emotions directly. But discomfort, when faced with courage, becomes a teacher. Every moment of sadness teaches us what we value. Every experience of boredom challenges us to find meaning in stillness. The Stoics teach us to practice mindfulness, not as a way to escape discomfort, but to engage with it fully. The next time you feel the urge to escape through pornography, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what emotion am I trying to avoid? Write it down without judgment. Over time, this practice will help you reconnect with your inner world. Emotional numbness will begin to lift, replaced by a sense of presence and clarity. Number 5. Porn's impact on relationships and intimacy. Pornography fosters a transactional view of intimacy, where partners become objects of desire rather than companions in emotional connection. Relationships built on real intimacy require patience, effort, and mutual respect. Musonius Rufus, a Stoic philosopher, taught that love should be based on shared values, not fleeting desires. When pornography becomes a substitute for real connection, it creates unrealistic standards that no real partner can meet. This can lead to feelings of frustration, disappointment, and even resentment in relationships. Over time, partners may sense this emotional distance, eroding trust and intimacy. To rebuild intimacy, practice being fully present in your relationships. Put away distractions when you're with your partner. Engage in meaningful conversations and listen with the intent to understand, not merely to respond. True intimacy grows through shared experiences, emotional vulnerability, and consistent effort. Number 6. Stoic practices to break free and rebuild discipline. Overcoming the grip of pornography requires more than willpower. It demands a change in mindset. Stoic philosophy offers practical tools to help you regain control and rebuild discipline. Journaling. Reflect on your thoughts and cravings daily. Writing down your emotions helps you gain clarity and recognize patterns. Negative visualization. Imagine your life without harmful habits. What would you achieve with more focus and energy? Daily reflection. Ask yourself, did I act according to my values today? If not, what can I do differently tomorrow? Each small victory builds momentum. The path to freedom is challenging, but every step forward strengthens your ability to live according to your principles.